Hello folks, it's Rich here. How are you, us? How is everyone? I am a novice guitarist. I have a lot of guitars, I like them. This is just a short video about this Chapman ML3, an old one, White Dove, I picked up for £200. I've not had this model before, wanted it for a long time. Sarah Jane nearly bought one for me about 2 years ago actually. And the pickups, first and foremost, are absolutely wonderful. I had a little play on it before and now it's been set up by Tom. I'll play it again at some point so you can have a listen to it. They are proper vintage sounding. That is warm, smooth blues heaven. That is gorgeous. This is bitey and rock-like, but without being shrill, and that middle position sounds a bit like a Strat. It's gorgeous. But I just wanted to point this out and say a big thank you to Tom. Hi Tom, if you're watching. So this is a few years old and it had not been loved. It had some sharp frets, which is unlike a Chapman, but you know, it's a 7-year-old guitar. Tom thinks it may have possibly been a B-stock at the time as well. So there are no sharp frets now, and as with all the standard series Chapmans, you get a rolled fingerboard, so this feels absolutely wonderful. Satin on the back. Thickness of this is a touch thinner, I would suggest, than a Fender Mexican. Just beautiful, 9.5-inch radius. He's polished these frets up, mega nice. And Tom said the fret wires nickel is hard. He said it's good quality. The nut, I can't probably see very well there or here, was cut a little bit too low. So Tom's had that out and he's put a little shim in it. It's so subtle. He's done such a good job on that. So the action, I like my action low. I mean, he's got it lower on some of my guitars, but that is still low. It's like 1.2 mil or something. It's really low. I think the lowest he ever got it was on the Cat 10, which was about minus mils. So yeah, so he's done that and just set it up absolutely wonderfully. So you know, I haven't got the skill to do those sorts of things. I can barely change some strings without getting irritated. So yeah, it's well worth taking your guitar to a tech. I'll put Tom's details down below. He's just brilliant. One of the things I love about Tom, well, one of the many things, he's such a good guy. We've become good friends since we've got to know each other as well, is he won't just do an average job on something. You know, he was saying, if I put this down for a second. This Pro Series one that I bought, this was a rarity for a Chapman for coming out not being perfect. I think this was a B stock. I did contact Lee about it, Lee Anderton, and he very kindly said, look, you can send it back if you want to. If you keep it, we'll send you a few freebies. So I did, just got a few little marks on it, scratches, but yeah, it had scratchy frets. Could have played them out, which is unusual. And so I gave it to Tom, he's polished those up and he's given it a setup whilst he had it, 'cause it wasn't set up quite right. And needed a little bit of work on the nut on this one as well. This finish on this is lovely. In the light, it looks like Jurassic Park, the amber that the mosquitoes are in. It's got real depth to this. But the point is, Tom said, giving it a little bit of a setup, he said it was kind of all right, could have just left it. But he said, I can't leave it. It has to be perfect. I can't just let it go and be average and you'd probably never know. He said for his own sanity, it's got to be perfect. And that is what you want, isn't it, from your guitar tech? You love your guitars, you spend a lot of money on them, it's your pride and joy. You want to know that it's been looked after and set up properly, and Tom does exactly that. Goes over and above. He's absolutely inundated with work at the minute. I mean, the crazy man, he's been up till like 2 in the morning working on guitars because he's got a couple of kids and, you know, he's got to be dad and he's got another job and all that stuff. So his Tom's Guitar Shack is full of guitars. But yeah, that's the point really of this bit of waffle, apart from being a bit of praise for Tom, is that if you can't do all the stuff to a guitar yourself, it's so worth going to a tech. I found Tom probably a couple of years ago now, maybe longer. And now, yeah, anytime I want something doing, I want it to be proper and play right. It's well worth being without a guitar for a little while to get it back. So we go, so we'll have a little play of these. And incidentally, if you're thinking, apart from the colour, you know, why have I got 2 single coils on these? These are Seymour Duncan Hot Telly pickups. These are they're louder, brighter, modern sounding pickups versus these ones. So they're chalk and cheese in how they sound as well. So, and these take even more gain better than those do. So it's a real nice blend here of the vintage feel, the smaller neck. This is, although it's only a 10-inch radius on here, it's a fatter neck and it just feels a bit flatter. You've got stainless steel jumbo frets on here. Although these, fortunately, these aren't the most jumbo I've had because I don't really like jumbos. So yes, a very different feel to it. So yes, thanks to Tom. And if you can't set your guitars up or work on them properly yourself, go find Tom or another Tom somewhere else.